How do you get to that status? Do you do it with the
You
injunction?
say what?
Do you do that with the injunction? Get to that status?
That's a good question. That's a good question. I'm gonna give you an honest answer on my injunction. Do I have an injunction out? Yeah, I do. Now, my injunction, my injunction was outside of all the other paperwork that I did personally, and I still have paperwork. I'm still sitting on. I didn't get out yet. You know what I'm saying? But I like putting layers of protection over me. I like putting so much protection over me, like they don't even want to look at me. You know, they don't even want to smell my cologne. Uh, my injection. I honestly don't know. I don't know the source. I don't know the source of where that injunction came from because I got it from a close friend of mine that's out here doing a lot of good things out here in Chicago. And if I showed you my injunction, I could not explain it to you. This is probably the only document I could not tell you nothing about. I don't know what it is. All I know is it has some type of it's a bond from the courthouse. That's a death penalty bond. That's a bond that's attached to the injunction, and some turtle stamps, a whole bunch of stamping going on, and some stuff going. I didn't never had time to go back and really and evaluate the document. I just got it out of there. It was like a year ago. But
Talked to the sheriff here, and he said basically they have to deal with whatever local laws, and there's no injunctions that they could even accept. They basically disrespecting the whole injunction thing.
what you mean? What you mean they disrespecting it?
He said he doesn't recognize it. I told him that I sent it in to him several different times. He said he does. He just was like, "Oh, the Indigenous People Act," and just let it like play to the left, like it didn't even happen. Like I didn't even send it in 3 times registered, and
And
I
who
sent it to
who
the
and who'd you
governor and
send it to?
everybody. Hmm.
And who'd you send it to?
I sent it to the sheriff. Of where I live. I sent it to the governor. I sent it to Tom Wolf. I sent it to the attorney general. I sent it to like 6 different locations, and I
Okay,
sent it
well,
out 3 different times.
okay. I tell you this. As far as the injunction goes, and anything that we dealing with travel, we got to
Hmm.
understand one thing. The the secretary of transportation runs everything. He's over the secretary of state. The
Secretary of Transportation.
secretary of transportation runs everything. Anything moving, he's over all that. The secretary of transportation from the Department of Transportation in the state that you live in, and it's
Hmm.
also a U.S. Department of Transportation. I didn't even send my injunction wasn't even sent to the U.S. version. I sent it to the state, and that was it. It wasn't no smoke after that at all, none.
But
And
you
that
had the world attached to it.
huh?
But you had the world attached to yours. All types of stamps and
Oh,
bonds.
see, it's different type of injunctions out there. I don't know. I don't. And I have the other injunctions. You know, I have Jonah's injunction, and I compared the two because my other guy had that one, and that's how we build or whatever. But this
Hmm.
other injunction, I don't know what the heck it is. I'm like, but at this point, I honestly can't tell you exactly what really put me at a certain position to really keep them off me because I've done so much. I've done layers of different things. Because remember, outside of my paperwork, outside the injunctions and my declarations here is my reservations of rights here, and all this stuff. Remember, I'm a part of 3 other nations. I have 3 other governments backing me up.
Hmm.
I have the world government, I have ANPC, and I'm in the process of first of all, well, there's gonna be 4 because when I was 13, I went to Africa and I got my name changed, I got the stamp and sealed certificate of name change from the chief of the village. I got the passport to prove the tribe, everything. So I'm using that to my advantage to claim that tribe and become part of my African government. And also I'm doing my genealogy test so I can claim my Native American ancestry. So Native Americans are native to the land. They get first dibs on a lot of different things. The Native American government is the government that the U.S. government supplemented and adopted a lot of their practices from. They stand. I'm talking about their government holds more weight than most governments that exist here in America. Period, hands down. Nobody can argue that. Have you ever seen a Native American on the street corner?
No.
Have you ever seen a Native American working at McDonald's? Only place you probably seen them at is at a 7-Eleven or some stuff. That's because they own it. You know what I'm saying? You never bump into them in a vulnerable situation. Like damn, look at him, look at her. No, see, if you
they're not even in jail.
The Native Americans, they don't. They're not. I've been there a lot. You know what I'm saying? I never seen a Native American in jail. You know what I'm saying? It's like these people. We gotta look at stuff like that. The Native Americans. If you have at least 50% Native American blood, you can get free schooling and you get free schooling and free housing. But you have to live inside that Native American community. See, they separate us, so we don't see nothing. We can't see that going on. We don't know that all these people living free because we're over here, and it's all about the divide and conquer. Because if we had the opportunity and luxury of being close enough to these different people or knowing these type of people and being able to communicate with them, we will understand these other possibilities. And I make a joke to people all the time. Us as black folks, especially here in America, so-called black folks, especially here in America, back in the day, we used to always make these jokes, and everybody used to always refer to themselves, especially those of us that got good hair, talking about, yeah, I got Native American in my blood. We used to always make these jokes and references, but we was dead serious on claiming like, yeah, I'm half Native American. Man, my grandma this, my mama this, or this, that. So why haven't we ever claimed our Native American nationality? Because guess what? We're not benefiting by being called black, by walking around talking about we black. Black don't even exist.
So would you say we should go and have the DNA test done for the indigenous? I mean, because I can clearly know my father and grandfather and them is Native American.
I found out off jump. A lot of us don't even have to do a lot of digging. As soon as it hit me, I'm like, because I always trying to find ways to perfect and add more power to my standing. And I'm thinking like, all right, what else can I do? What else can I do? And I thought about it. Native American. I'm like, because I was doing the research. I'm like, okay, because how can you prove that? I'm like, okay, the first person I go to is my grandma. She's like, yeah, my father's mother was at least 50%. I'm like, oh, really? What was her name, Grandma?
Well, now you know, Hellraiser. The Native American tribes, the majority of the Native American tribes that are receiving the benefit, have a very serious issue with mixed bloods. Okay, they don't want, particularly black people, to start claiming the heritage. See, and it's difficult for us to people of black heritage to claim Native American as far as proof, because as we were sold into slavery, I mean, we didn't have birth certificates, we weren't carrying them around, you know, we left from one plantation, go to the other. And a lot of Native Americans, they didn't carry a file cabinet on the Trail of Tears, you know, so a lot of them they're very much against any mixed bloods coming in, because once that happens for the Native Americans, they will fight you more than anybody about claiming that heritage, because they want to have their resources, you know, just localized. They don't want to be spreading those, you know, once them black folks start stepping in talking about their Native American, there it go. Now you have a right to casinos. You have a right to fish without a license. You have a right, you know, to get some of this territory. And they are going to oppose it more than anything. So the best thing is, having to do a lot of the DNA, the testing, that's probably the best, because outside of that, all we do have is grandmama and them's, story from back in the day.
Exactly, because, and that's exactly right. And you know what? When I was doing my research, and the Native Americans, they don't have they have a registry, but I like each one of them have different things, whatever, to proof of claim. Like your family name has to be, I think for Cherokee, your family name has to be on their ancient scrolls. Like if your name ain't on there, you screwed. You know what I'm saying? It's like or if you can't do an ancestry background check to show that your family is linked to this tribe or whatever. But and so the only way to really get, it's no way around it, especially if we would like to reap the benefits of claiming that, the additional benefits as far as living and stuff like that. Now, I don't think that stops us per se from actually claiming that. But the problem is, if they don't claim you back, that will limit you from the resources that they have for you, right, or have available for that nation. That's the only thing. We can claim it all day. We're free to claim it because can't nobody tell you that you ain't black. If you was half white, you don't have to do a DNA test to prove somebody that you half white. You never had to do no DNA test to prove none of that. You know what I'm saying? So proving, declaring it and claiming that and being able to use that like for legal purposes, I believe we have all access granted for that. Can't nobody stop us or limit us from that. Because think about it. That means the government or that agency will have to go through and do all type of DNA tests and try to figure out if you're really a part of that. They're not going to do all that stuff. They don't want no problems like that. You know what I'm saying? So, but if we want to get involved and get our hands on them resources, oh yeah, we got to go full fledged and get that DNA. I think we need to do DNA tests anyway. Regardless, we need to know where our blood tracks back to. We need to know our ancestors. We need to know what's available to us. You know what I'm saying? And matter of fact, we can't truly claim our nationality without that. You know what I'm saying? Because technically speaking, they did apologize. They did apologize for slavery. But if we're not in our proper standing, if we don't claim nationality and proof of that nationality, then we can't get back. They don't owe us. We're not due what's owed back to us. It's as simple as that.
Let me ask you a question. Okay, so I'm first generation out here when it comes to kind of like both of my families being born. My father's from Barbados and my mother's from Haiti. So I was thinking when it comes to nationality, I'm already backed by both of them. Do I have to literally go file to be connected back to my family roots? Because is already there. So I figured when it comes to nationality, I'm already protected. Do I have to literally go file paperwork in Haiti and in Barbados to have that nationality on documented that that's my nationality?
Well, this is the thing. Just like for me to be able to make a quick call to my grandma and immediately be able to find my closest kin that's half Native American, I don't have to do that much digging. Just like you don't have to do that much digging to find that claim or whatever. The thing is that we're here in America and we've already waived our rights. We've already became U.S. citizens. We've already contracted in that. Now, I don't think a person would have to go out the country and do this and do that because, as far as I've seen, each individual ethnic group has their own body of government, whether it's small or large here in America, because we have other Haitians here in America too. You know what I'm saying? We have Haitians, we have everybody has their own government here in the Valley. If we
have their own diplomatic representation, of course.
We do. Exactly. So all this stuff is about finding your representatives here in America, your governmental office for the Haitians, you know what I'm saying? And they'll lead you the rest of the way. Simple as that.
All right, so as far as my daughter, because I know she has Native American background, is rooted from her father. So how do I go about doing that with my daughter? Because I want to get their paperwork established. I want to file on the behalf of them, and as I do it, they know what's going on. So when they get a age,
once you find the resources to back up your claim for the Haitian nationality, you just do the same exact process for the kids.
Well, yeah, she has Native American in her.
Oh, you said the Native American.
Yeah,
so the kids are gonna be easier then. I'm only saying that because I actually know of all the Native American governments. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So that's I know that's a fact here. You know what I'm saying? Now and we all know that's a fact because Native Americans been here. They native to America. So that's they're gonna be way easier than you, but not necessarily because you're directly connected too. So all you gotta do is just make some phone calls. You'll be surprised how easy it is to connect the dots.
I think so. Because in regards to court matters, African Americans are pretty much burnt in jail.
Exactly.
They give football numbers, and that's why I try to explain to people this is why they treat you this way.
Exactly.
Their status.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So look, I had another question because going back to the UCC and authentication of birth certificate, because I didn't really say too much, but I had pre-filed my UCC before I got my birth certificate authenticated, and I wasn't really 100% knowledgeable about it, but I knew that I had to claim my birth certificate and social security card as my original collateral. So I did that, and it's pretty much very simple and watered down. I got my birth certificate authenticated. It's filed with the Secretary of State. Both of the kids' birth certificate are same thing, filed with the Secretary of State in Jersey. So now, I just want to clarify, the next state is to put the federal government on notice. When I do that, and I send those authenticated birth certificates to the federal government, which is in Washington, D.C., right? Do I have to attach an affidavit with that one at that time?
Nah.
The affidavits of declaration, which one do I attach if I do?
No, you just remember it's different affidavits for different things. Mm-hmm. For the birth certificate, you're gonna create an affidavit of ownership when you get that back from the federal level.
After I get it back, and then I can file it in the courts to put it in public notice. I just follow there. I'll put it in a newspaper, or they'll put it. Because they said
you don't got to put it. You put it. Always make deposits in county records. Put it in the county records. So that's their notice right there. That's your judicial notice basically. And then what you do is you of course take your original back, but you also order a certified copy of that filing. So now you got it authenticated. You have the title of ownership, the affidavit of ownership, and you have that court of clerk stamp on it. So now put that in the seal, and you all good. On to the next one.
Okay, so that's okay. So so let me just ask. I know that's stepping a little bit above. So the DBA when you do doing business as, is that just stepping you into doing secure party and starting to work in commerce when you doing that, or is that something mandatory to state your claim?
I mean, in my case, I try to do a DBA. It depends on the state you in. Some states don't allow the DBA. I mean, the DBA entity to have the same name as you. So I couldn't do that. So I had the LLC my name, and so that's what I did to get that filed. And actually, I probably didn't need to do that. Well, after doing so many different things, I realized different ways. But that was the whole point of doing that, because the problem is with first of all, we're not coming across this problem with the initial filing, because everybody gets through in Washington if you've done everything correctly. The problem is when you go try to give the informational filings to the state that you was born in and the state that you live in. That's where we encounter those roadblocks. So that was the whole point of having to do a DBA and a LLC or all that stuff. So they can think it's two different people or whatever. But I probably, if I was to do it again, I think I wasted $500 doing that because I've noticed, because the only purpose of those informational filings was to give notice to those other states. So if we think once we start getting comfortable with our paperwork, we're gonna start getting clever, and creative with our processes. So if we look at the UCC1 financing statement, we look at the top left corner where it says send acknowledgement to. We're up on the assumption that's only pertaining to us as far as okay, send it. Okay, I'm making this filing and send the acknowledgement to me at this address. We don't have to utilize that for us. We don't need the acknowledgement. You can get a certified copy of the acknowledgement anytime. How about putting in the place or the agency that you're trying to give acknowledgement to? Use them to give that other state notice. So put their information, the Secretary of State in the state that you live and you born in that slot, and you send them a certified copy from the Washington Uniform Commercial Code Department of Licensing. How can they deny that? Stuff like that.
If I make an agreement on the UCC, I can have them forward it to them at that time, right?
Absolutely. That's the whole point. That's the whole objective of those other filings outside of Washington.
Okay.
Your filing is the one in Washington. That's the filing. The other filings are just informational filings and giving notice. Because in the collateral box on the informational filings, all you're doing is saying, first of all, it's called an informational filing, and all you're doing is putting the reference number, the UCC number of your actual initial filing and linking them up. That's all. Now, legally, they're supposed to give notice to all the rest of the nation or whatever, but we can't depend on that or bet on that, or put that responsibility in their hands. It's ultimately our responsibility to make sure that they give notice. So that's why we utilize stuff like that.
I can tell them to forward it to the Secretary of State to make sure that they, the Department of Treasury, when I fix my UCC, so they'll put them on notice.
The Secretary of Treasury?
Yeah, to continue to add collateral under it. So once I continue to add collateral, do I have to have them, best to CC them and put them on notice?
Oh, no. Once you do those initial informational filings, they're all connected now.
Okay.
They all tied in. So when you add extra collateral, remember, you're gonna be doing you're not gonna mess with that initial filing. You're gonna do a UCC3. Let's say you got 2 cars in a house. That means you're gonna be filing three different UCC3s, because each one is gonna give you a unique new UCC number that's gonna identify that collateral. Just like if you talk about a vehicle having a what do you call that number? A VIN number. You know what I'm saying? Which is the identification number for that property. Now that UCC filing number is the identification for that property. You know what I'm saying? And so on and so forth. Now, I want to go back to the whole traveling thing, because I need to make a very important point with the traveling, because that's a big issue. And that's the issue that can easily get us jammed up and tied back into this matrix. That traveling is very important. And that traveling part is going to be hard for a lot of us to get around if we don't get it. Because that's what's going to get us jammed up back in the system. Easy. Now, outside of sending in the proper documentations, which is by way of affidavits, putting everything on the record, claiming if we're going to keep using the driver's license and use the license plates, while we're using it until we get our private plates, American national plates, we're going to, we still have to correct our status and reserve our rights within that contract. One thing I can tell y'all that could work for some, may not work for others. It didn't work for me. I tried. But it depends on what time of day and the person you're dealing with at the DMV. When we talk about the driver's license contract, your proof of signature on that contract is right there on the driver's license. Now, the whole details of the contract are not on there, but the proof that you accepted that contract is right there on the driver's license. So, if you do a clever maneuver like go back to the DMV and say, you lost your license, or you want to change your address, because at some point we need to be correcting our address as well. And the first level of address correction is transferring our mail to a private post box, not the post office, like at least a UPS store, where now we have a third party collecting our mail for us. So the agencies don't have direct access to mail us. They don't have permission to send us mail directly. They handed it to them, not us. We're just picking it up. Therefore they can never really technically serve us by mail or try to contract with us by mail because it's not a direct delivery. Now, so you will get that PO, that private mailbox. You wait a while to transfer all your utilities and stuff like that to go to that box, because you're gonna go to the post office, do an actual address change, and you're gonna change that address to that private post box. Now, once you get all the mail to prove that that's your living address or whatever, you're gonna go to the DMV and do the address change, because you need that address to reflect on the ID. And these are just the steps on working our way up, so slowly pulling ourselves out. Because slowly but surely we're gonna throw away them IDs. Slowly but surely we're not gonna use none of them addresses. You know what I'm saying? Now we go there to make that address change on the ID, but we need to tell them we lost it too. Because if we don't do that, I believe that they're gonna because I think I just told them, I lost mine. I said I lost mine, I need to change my address. Because if you don't do that, they're gonna make you they're just gonna try to make you a duplicate. You don't want a duplicate. You want a brand new one. You want to take a whole new picture and everything. Because once you do that, that means you not only got to take a new picture, you got to sign again. So now you have another opportunity to correct and reserve your rights within that contract. The problem is they converted over to the digital system, a lot of the DMVs, if not all of them, where once you take that picture and you sign that digital pad, now this I tried my best. Sign that name at UCC 1-308 and look at the lady and smile. But she told me right there, she's like, sorry, we can't process it with that designation at the end. I'm like, really? Why not? So she says, I asked questions. I'm like, are you guys trained to look for stuff like that? She said, yeah. She said, I don't know why. I just know, but we are trained to make sure nothing's at the end of names. See, then that's another example of like I say, the gatekeepers, the innocent, ignorant gatekeepers that don't know they're gatekeepers. They are trained to do certain things and to block the gates and guard the gates of us reserving our rights and getting through the gates. You see what I mean? So they're trained to look for stuff like that. Like I said, if you go up in a DMV one day and catch the right person that's being lazy, you walk out of there, you good. Because I might do it again. You know what I'm saying? Just a hope I might try at the end of the day when they're trying to get out of there or something. But they're trained to look for that. But even if they don't do it, whatever, it don't matter, because you still claiming, you're supposed to put claim over that license number, that social security number, all numbers of registration. You made a uniform commercial code claim on that number and reserved your rights within that contract. And you supposed that done an affidavit to rescind all signatures to all federal and state agencies for contracts that didn't offer you full disclosure within the terms and conditions of the agreement. That makes that a fraudulent contract right there. So the affidavits and the declarations of statuses don't mean nothing if you ain't break the contracts first. You didn't tell them that you didn't want the contract. So you sent in the affidavits, but you didn't send in affidavit to rescind all fed and state contracts. That was the part we missed. So maybe that's why some of us are getting bounce backs.
I saw that. I saw it. It was like a sovereign. I had a sovereign affidavit that was like that. I was kind of like skeptical. I was reading through it. See, like what one of the callers was talking about, like what if it stopped making you United States citizens and all of that. And it's not that, but we have to create distance and then separate ourselves. So myself, like I'm still working and I want to continue working. So what I was hearing, that when you create a IN number, that's how you start to separate the straw man and your true self. So you'll operate certain ways with that social. Like I will still operate my jobs with that social. So that's why I was trying to get a clarity about the DBA and the EIN number. And you, like you said, you have filed the LLC with your original name, kind of separated yourself from the corporate entity, right?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get.
Well, I didn't create my LLC to operate with. I only created the LLC to do the filing. That was the only purpose of it.
See, and that's what I was looking at with the DBA thing. Oh, like you're not really into the DBA, but that's why I was thinking like the DBA was an instrument you needed when you wanted to, participate as working in the system and then be privatized and protecting your assets and things like that.
Okay, so this is the thing. Everybody's situation is going to be a little bit different because everybody's situation is different. So the direction I took is going to be different because, for one, I'm not an employee. Anytime an employee is everybody is an employee, is a governmental employee. No matter if you use your social security number to get that job, you're classified as a government employee. All right. So unless you go back and correct that, let's say, and we all know we have access to that initial document that we filed when we applied for that job, because that's how you get your tax returns at the end of the year. Because when I was still working, I would go in there and be like, I need to change something on my W-4 or whatever, and they would give it to me or whatever, and what I would do is I would file tax exempt. I would change my status to tax exempt for like 3 months so I can get all the money and do what I need to do or whatever, and then I'll go back in there and change it back or whatever. So we can. My point is saying that is we have access. They have to give us that in human resources we ask for it. And think about the symbolism of that word, of the words human resources for a second. Now, so if we know we have access to that document, that contract, which is contracting us not just with that employer that we're working for, that's contracting us back to the government, and we're using their number. It said on the back of the social, this car does not belong to you. You must return it if we ask for it. If I must return if you ask for it, it must not really be mine. I must just be the user. Mm-hmm. So all I'm saying is with everything, if you go back and have access to that document and you have an opportunity to re-sign, or you have access to your signature, UCC 1-308. So whatever you do outside of that now, you've made legal standing and reserves your rights within the contract. That right there, people don't understand how much power those 3 letters and them numbers mean. I'm talking about if you put that right next to your signature on whatever contract dealing with these people, you figure out the rest later. You see what I mean? Figure out the rest later. Right there, you have a lot of us do stuff, but don't even have a legal standing doing it because we didn't claim our rights within the contract. Contracts don't work like that. If me and you do, if I'm doing business with y'all and I got a contract with every last one of y'all right now, and in my contract I said by signing this document, I have all rights, you have no rights. I own you, you own nothing. You agreed to it. You can't say nothing else to me. Now, if I had an opportunity, if one of you had an opportunity to go back and revise that contract, or correct your name or whatever in the contract, and you reserve your rights within the contract, that wouldn't apply to you. Simple as that. Now, another thing about employment, a lot of people been asking about that, and I did a video on this. Like employment, it gave you a choice. It's voluntary to give your social security number. We're too accustomed to using that. If you're working, that number is only for tax purposes. So they don't need your personal social security number for tax purposes. They can use your credit profile number, which is a CPN, or they can use a EIN number, which is used for tax and business purposes. This is what we're doing, right? So why do you need my personal identification number for business tax purposes? It's two different things. And it says it's in the law that says that we have the right not to disclose our personal private social security number. If it is they at least said that. They told us we didn't have to disclose that. And if the employer gives us any problems on doing that, that's why I mentioned the forms that we possibly can use if you encounter an issue with the employer inside of that video I did about employment.
I'm gonna look at that. It's funny because I just filled out an app. I'm starting a new position, and I was kind of like, okay, I don't want to make it complicated because I don't know everything right now. But I did see this section that said if you didn't want to submit your social security number, and they told me to go to another hyperlink. So yeah, and it said it can delay the process, but it didn't say that I wouldn't be able to work. So I kind of understand what you're saying. Next time I'm going to explore it a little bit more, but I was like, I'm not even going to go that route. I just want to get this paperwork done and keep it moving. But
right, that's what it is.
I have one more question for you, and I'm gonna let you move on. Okay, with the UCC, so I have a slew of licenses in different states. They saying every licenses that you have to put it under the UCC and claim it as collateral. Why would I claim my license for? I don't understand it. They was like, get it authenticated, every license I have, and then put it under the UCC. What is the purpose of it though? I know it can be done, but why would I put every single license or, things like that under the UCC?
Well, authenticating I don't know how the hell you're gonna authenticate your license.
My nursing license, they said to take the documents and you can go get them authenticated through and then make sure that is. But I'm not understanding because they said every license that they give you, they create a bond and it's something on the market for you. So you want to claim that. So that's what the foundations of that. So is that true? Because I'm like, okay, I don't want to go through the process of authenticating all these things and then doing all these UCC3s, put them under there, and it's not actually serving no beneficial purpose unless I'm going to be collecting the state taxes that I pay when I work under those numbers. Right. You know what I'm saying? Unless I'm going to be receiving money like that, I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean that's drastic. Ultimately, that's the purpose of the initial filing, to put in any and all registrations and documents and licenses you have and claim all that on gun licenses, stuff like that. Yeah. You claim all that in one bunch, and now all you're worried about is claiming individual property there on after. And if it ever comes you have an opportunity or something pops up where you realize that you can reap benefits or return from having one of these licenses, then you already know that you claimed it and you have that done. But authenticating and doing all that stuff, unless you already have a foundation and a blueprint to accomplishing something from doing that.
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately.
Okay. Now I'm glad you said all that. I just had an aha moment. Okay.
Yeah. All right. I remember the most important thing to claim on that UTC is a social security number. How did you get that license? You use a social security number, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
But as you say, it depends on what you're doing. So if I'm going to, start to do businesses under that scope using those licenses or opening organizations, I think it is good for me to claim those licenses and things like that because there's going to be monies coming in connected to those licenses in regards to organizations. I kind of got that aha moment, like, okay, I'm gonna claim all of them because I want to open an organization in regards to those licenses.
Yeah. All right, let me tell y'all something real quick. I keep going back to the travel. I'm trying to get it out because this is very important because we got it. Everybody has to travel. That contract is gonna make us or break us. I swear. Now, once again, everything is done correctly. The proper decorations, injunctions, and all that stuff. We can safely travel to a certain degree, and they won't deal with us. Now, the ultimate goal is to remove them plates and not to walk around with that contract. That's tangible proof that we have a contract with them. That's dangerous right there. Even if we operating and we've claimed and reserved our rights, we're using that. I don't trust that. So this is what we need to understand. is that once we fully unplug, we need to know that right now we're operating as public citizens, as traditional public U.S. citizens, public slaves, and just like we talked about earlier, with human resources. That's what we are. We're human resources, and that's what they use us for. Now, just like we have public agencies that we go to, we have a public place you go to get your license. You have a public place you go to register your vehicles. You have all these public places you have to do business publicly, right? Once we become private and secured, we need to understand that we don't use these same public places. That don't mean that we still don't have vehicle tags or identification cards, all that stuff. We need to understand as private so-called citizens, we have our private resources and agencies that provide these services. And this is something that I can't put out there. Like I can't do any public videos like YouTube actually promoting like that about these other private agencies. I can't do that. For one, I don't want a lot of idiots calling up and because I personally get very close or close enough to when I call, they know who I am. To every government that I'm involved or every agency I'm involved with, they know who I am. So I don't want nobody calling using my name prematurely before they even ready and saying blase blah woozy woo. Hellraiser said this and asking dumbass questions making me look bad. So that's my personal thing. Now, so my point of saying that is we don't need the DMV. We don't use them. That's not we don't need their services. They're service providers. We don't need those services. We have our own private DMVs. We have our own private, all that stuff. This is the problem. I'm not talking about a website that we go to that sells bogus plates, the license plates that say private vehicle and all this other stuff. We go buy them and we're like, yeah, we're a private citizen, and we put that on there and we think we good. And all we doing is walking around with a plate that has some words on it, that has no weight to it. Because at the end of the day, that peace officer is supposed to be able to run whatever's on that plate, and it needs to come back to something, which is why we need to deal with private certified private secure sovereign agencies that have contracts and treaties with the government, with the United States. If we dealing with nations and governments and agencies, and we utilizing these tools that are not honored by and respected by the U.S. government, in which own this place and we conduct business every day and live in, we're gonna lose every time. That's why the majority of people that's out here doing any aspect of these processes or concepts of it are losing and saying stuff don't work. That's why it's not, because they don't understand that government respect government. And if you're not a part of a respectable government, you're gonna lose. And another thing on that, one nation and one government might not provide all of those services. We got to understand. We got to stop playing discrimination and understand this government might be certified for doing the official passports on our behalf. This government might be official for anything dealing with vehicles, registering vehicles, license plates, international travelers identification cards. You know what I'm saying? All this is like we need to know who these people are, who these agencies are, and where do we go to get whatever services. This government right here, they're good for correcting our address into a rural NAC code. They call it a NAC code, where your address is converted to the actual longitude and latitude coordinates of where you are located. We can't be tied to an address as private parties, because now we tied it to the zip code. If those of us that ever did try to get credit card loans and any type of credit line, stuff like that, and I don't know if you've noticed a drastic change from probably trying to apply for a loan with one address that probably was tied to a zip code out from a hood. And then, as opposed to once you move to the suburbs, now all of a sudden you got all these opportunities and stuff. Now they saying yes. They saying yes because they discriminated when you was living in the hood, and you thought it was just your credit score. Yes, it is your credit score, but it was also because you claimed that territory. That's what I'm saying.
I came out here, my opportunities is so
Stop.
credit. So you're right. You're 100% right. And I felt that. I said that when I was in Newark, I felt like I couldn't grow financially as much as I could grow when I stepped out of that zip code. I didn't know it was a zip code, but starting to learn more about it. Yes, it does restrict us from different loans and things like that. And they give us different interest rates. You know, prime example, I applied for personal loans a couple of months ago. And when I applied to one entity, they gave me an interest rate of about 14.9 because it was unsecured. My credit score at the time was probably like 670. It wasn't bad. You know, everything I just cleared up loans and all that. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to call around and see. I call another bank. I call USAA. You know, he running my stuff. He's like, oh, wow, everything is good. You should get a good credit score. But when he took it back to get my credit score, they literally gave me, to get my interest rate, they gave me a 20%. And I'm asking, like, why would you give me 20%? What's the difference? Why would one bank give me this and you give me that? He got real quiet. And I'm like, is it because I'm black? He got real quiet. And I was like, you know what? What I'm going to do is just, I hang up the phone right now because I feel like something is not right with this transaction and the way that you're approaching it. And I think it has something to do with my ethnicity. He was like, well, ma'am, if you change your mind, we're going to send you all the paperwork, yeah. But just that right there proved to me that something significantly different was going on between different industries when they interact with us. Yeah. So that goes into saying, I'm into separation, not physically, but mentally. We have to separate us as being brown people. We really have to get in the mentality that we are treated different. It don't matter if you're working, not working, you hustling or whatever, you feel it. So we have to live in those paradigms of that reality and start to invest into us.
We do.
That's not our family, but also into our immediate area.
We do. That's one of the most important things, because the reason why we don't know about these resources, like the ones I just explained to y'all, we don't know these things. It's hard to us to even imagine these things exist. You're like, what? We have a private DMV service? Like, what? We have yes, they actually exist. You know what I'm saying? Like, because our resources as secured private individuals are limited. You know what I'm saying? Now, the reason why I would keep reminding us that we're too far behind schedule to like take over. Okay, the U.S. has this on lock. Okay, let them have it. But that don't mean that we need to go back to Zion. That don't mean we have to operate and entertain their dealings or whatever, or consent to contracting with things that we don't understand and that enslave us. Now, we are very limited to resources, which is why we got to utilize our own personal skill sets to establish other agencies. My whole objective is, once I get a few handful of people that get it, you know what I'm saying? Because you better believe this, a government is actually ran by about 5 sharks. It don't take a lot of us to establish a government. We need to establish our own governments or our own government agencies. It could be anything. Pick a service.
Right.
Right now, I'm in the process of launching. This was the first of many. Right now, I'm in the process of launching 2 new services for us. National Filing Services. MyPublicNotice.info. It'll be up this week. Another service. I'm still working on the name. Another service is going to be, I know y'all been seeing the videos, I've been converting the books into audios. Okay, so my next company is going to be called I Listen, Audio Visuals. It's going to be spelled E-Y-E, like the I, E-Y-E, I Listen, Audio Visuals. I'm taking all my whole arsenal my whole archive of pamphlets, text, PDFs. I'm converting everything over to digital audio. So now you can listen to the book. You can visually look at the book while you're listening to it. You can download the PDF and you can download the MP3. And it's going to be all tailored to all the people, all the indigenous people, all the people in the conscious community, all the people, all these books and manuals not available in your local library because libraries are about to be extinct. They took away borders because we have free access to knowledge without paying for it. You know what I'm saying? We don't have that. We don't have our own library. So I'm taking my skill sets and know how to build databases and libraries to get this to y'all. On everything spiritual. We're gonna have a metaphysical section. We're gonna have a secure party section. We're gonna have a holistic health section. These are the 3 categories in the library so far. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what I'm on, and I need everybody to get like on board and know that I have an agenda for everything. Like, and I'm moving at lightning speed. And the more, this is what I'm doing by myself. The more help I get, we can move mountains a lot quicker. And I move fast. I built the Hellraiser Legacy in 2 days.
That's why I wanted you to look into that Discord app, because it's something like a virtual library, just something to start out where you can actually just house all that information. Because the section you were talking about, I have those sections under there where we just share videos and documents. So that's kind of like a free medium, trying to start that library information.
We need that.
That's fantastic.
We need that. We need that because now the problem that we have and we're coming across this information. Well, first off, it's a process. It's a process even with information when we're coming across information. The first process is actually hard to get out of, and I think I will always be affected by this process. The first process. I have a fetish for digging for information. I cannot stop. I have to dig. I'm like a grave digger. I'm digging and digging and digging. I dig. The further it's like because the further I dig, the more stuff. The more I realize that we screwed, or how far we are behind schedule, and how, you know what I'm saying, and the conditions that we really under. So we digging up all this information, and I'm just talking about myself. If we combine all the information that we've all personally dug, the amount of information is overwhelming. You see what I mean? Because that's step one, to dig, to be able to dig and for information and the information that we need. Now we have to decipher the information. We have to ingest and digest the information and properly digest the information, because some of us get lost in the matrix of other information. It's like we have to program ourselves, know how to take what we need to take out of that information and leave the rest. It's just like, for example, like when I share my affidavits, anything I share inside, if I share an affidavit with y'all, that affidavit is not considered to be true. It's only true once you get it and realize what's true to you. Remember, affidavit is absolute truth from you to your best ability. That's what an affidavit is. Affidavit has weight because you're up under penalty of perjury. So it has to be true to you to the best of your knowledge. So if it's something inside of an affidavit that me or you or somebody else gives you, or that you find, whatever that don't sit well with you, that don't add up, it probably don't pertain to you. So take it out. Take it out and add what pertains to you. If it says I, John Smith, the Christian African American citizen, if that don't sound right to you, erase that and put what's your proper title. You know what I'm saying? What's your you know what I'm saying? Like anything that don't, and if something don't apply to you, or something that you might not understand, okay, that means you got to take that clause or take those words and research it. And from your findings and your understanding of those words and some terminology, definitions of those words, determines if it applies. Only you can say if it applies to you or not. Nobody else can tell you nothing else applies to you. You know what I'm saying? And because everybody's situation is different, because this is not just a physical, commercial, financial type of move. All of this is tied, and this is why it's hard for a lot of people to get to gain success because it's tied. We're tied to these words on these documents emotionally. It is an emotional journey. It is a spiritual journey. It is a financial journey. It is a commercial. It's all of it. So all of it, we can't afford to put in paperwork or claim paperwork that doesn't justify all of those standings. You see what I mean? So it's like we got to be very. I'll sit on paperwork. Every document that I personally did myself, I probably sat on that stuff for months. I'm talking about months, and I'll be meditating. I'll look at it again, and I'll sit there. I'll know what documents I'm gonna use or want to use, and I'll know how to categorize. Like, okay, I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna need that one day, not today. You know what I'm saying? I'm put that over there. But so then I start shifting out all the stuff that I'm gonna use next. But I'll be looking at it, making sure I can own this document. You have to own it. You have to own those words on that page before you can claim it and give acknowledgement to another party, because you got to be able to stand on every word and every period in that document. Period. These documents are meant to be tailored and customized for you. These are just foundational templates. You know what I'm saying? And some of them, all you might have to do is change your name and address. Some of them, but some of them no. Some of these documents are heavy, serious. You know, so you need to make sure it ain't something that tie you up or contradict your standing. You know, so you got to sit there. So I look at people and I wonder, for the people that just jumped on this ship. I wake up one day, they get some information today. I look up 3 days later, they be like, yeah, I filed my such. How the heck did you file all that? How did you file all that paperwork that quick? You couldn't possibly have read and understood what the words in that paperwork. People just changing their names and sending that stuff off. Not good. Not good. Not good. Not good. Not recommended.
Even when you're doing these redemptions, trying to do these redemption processes, even if they say they factual, you can do them. If you don't know how to represent yourself when you're doing them, it defeats the process. Just like you said, when you're putting this paperwork in and you're getting someone else to file it for you or whatever, you don't even know what's in the document because you didn't read it for the most part. So I think it's very important for us to take our time, study. That's why I always say, take your time, study, and then you do what you need to do, you know. And that's why I was comfortable doing the UCC one, because it wasn't the first time that I actually researched the UCC, but I just didn't know how to word the collateral more, you know. So definitely know if you're going to do it, if it's going to be safe for now, or if you're going to go to jail behind it, if you don't do it properly.
Yeah, that's a good point. As far as the redemption manuals, the 4.5s and 5.0s, that's a good point to bring up. And because now I always stood on the fact that cracking the code, redemption manual 4.5 and 5.0 are great foundational materials. They're great foundational materials. The problem is, and what I've never been comfortable with, is the lapse of time that these books were published. And on top of that, still everything is not absolutely true to you. You see what I mean? So you still have to figure out what really applies to you and depending on what direction you're going in. Like every time somebody started asking me about a discharging process and sending the birth certificate here and there, I always stop them right there. Like, I skipped that part. I didn't do that because out of all the people, that's been a popular process for a long time. Out of all the people that's done that exact process, that exact way, I haven't been seeing nobody get no results. You know what I'm saying? They get a green card back, and that's that. I don't want a green card. I want some results. You know what I'm saying? So I was just waiting around to see if somebody came back and said they got the gold. It's been a long time now. Now